Okay, so each week, and this being the first week of this course, what I'm going to do is go through the week one and the things that need extra explaining I'm going to make a video for. So right now I'm going to discuss the fall 2019 good list. Every time I have an e-commerce course, one of my favorite things to do is show the list that I've been accumulating in the 17 years I've been teaching this topic. I've really been teaching it a long time, and it astounds me how students sometimes always come up with something new that I haven't thought of. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just download this and take a good look. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever taught this online, and I think that it can work, but I think we need a couple of things. We need close interaction, definitely. So you see how it says good list here? I'm just going to change it to a .txt because I want to take a good look at this. And okay, let me just click on this one because I was looking at it before. So anyway, when I think of good e-commerce sites, the first thing I think of is a search. The search functionality to me is so important that I would spend as much on that often as I would developing the site. I like to store what people search. I like to use it for analytics and statistics to see what people want. When I see people searching for a product that maybe is an interior page, I'm likely to put it on the home page because it's what people want. But a good search should allow people to detect spelling errors. You know, not many people who can who might be customers can spell that well, so we've got to anticipate spelling errors. And there are some things I'll show you. I show you in the PHP course if you take it with me that can detect spelling errors. They're really kind of neat things that PHP has. But another thing about a great search is that if you don't have any results, show something similar. Always show something. Never leave the user with nothing. That's a big important thing. You know, you could say something like, users, we don't have this product, but users who search for this also search for this, and show the product. So OpenCart has all these capabilities, and I encourage you to utilize them, because as much money is made on this as any other part of this site. If you can show your client that your search that you devised is resulting in sales, you are going to be very valuable. So the other thing is easy navigation. I can tell you how this list got to be the way it is. It got to be this way because I started the students off, and I went with the thing that's my personal favorite, which is the search. And what you see is the rest of the elements are usually what students come up with. So easy navigation, definitely. Mobile responsive, without a doubt. You can pretend if we were on ground in a classroom, those would come up naturally. A nice layout, easily codable, easily reproducible. Of course, good non-disruptive aesthetics. I don't want to see a lot of background colors or background images in this course. I want the focus to be on the product. There should be good use of real estate. Cloud zoom, zooming in on photos and products. The ability to do product presentation. Imperative that you give a good photography of your products. And if you know, I'm going to tell you right now, you're free to use photos that you find online for your projects, because this is a student project. If you are creating a website for a real entity, you're going to have to create photography on your own. So those are all very important things. I like the idea of a 360 view on my products, especially if the user has some confusion about how it's used. Point 8 is especially important, having the ability for a quick, seamless checkout. The longer it takes someone to check out, the less likely you are to make a sale. So a one-click checkout is imperative. Also, a guest checkout is extremely important. During the course, you're going to be assigned to read an article called the $300 Million Button. It's a very famous article that documents a scenario where someone removed a sign-up button and the site ended up making a ton of money because of it. So we want to make sure that guest checkout is enacted in all our carts. Again, similar products grouped side by side, similar to what we were talking about with the search. The ability to clearly allow for the purchase of necessary accessories with your product. Good, clear descriptions that are not only understandable by the user, but also by the search engine. We need to be real crafty with the way we write descriptions. How are we filtering or sorting our search results? All these things are very important as far as giving the user what they want. Testimonials are extremely important to add credibility for your products and your business. I'll be honest with you, I've done many e-commerce websites, and a lot of the testimonials were actually faked. And I've even gone to the point where some of the products had negative testimonials to add credibility to the positive testimonials. We'd have a client who would recommend having 4 good ones and 1 bad one, just so people didn't think they were all good. Having reviews of the entire product from people who have actually purchased, that's a huge thing. It's one thing to get a testimonial from someone who hasn't purchased, but a product review is great for a couple of reasons. It gives credibility to the business, and also gives you search engine optimization results with power keywords that you can put in those reviews. Breadcrumbs that allow navigation to find where the user has come from. Promo codes or coupons. The Adobe came out with a white paper about 7 years ago about what causes the highest bounce rate for e-commerce. Now, what's a bounce rate? That's when someone puts a product in their cart and never purchases it. And Adobe came out with a survey that found that customer trust was violated when people saw large shipping charges appended at the end of the checkout process. So what do? The smart companies would package the shipping cost into the product cost. And the way to deal with that also is using promo codes and coupons. Allowing wish lists for people who want to buy gifts. Of course, these are all dependent on what kind of product you'll be selling with your projects. Allowing the user to see inventory, or even to see sold out products to get the feeling that the product's in demand and the people want it. Again, inventory control is very nice. I'll be honest with you, most of the e-commerce projects I've got were because I was good at shipping, and I would handle the inventory. That's actually where my career began, was I was a logistics manager and covered inventory control and shipping cost. And then when I learned web skill, that was a natural feed for me, where I would go into these e-commerce sites and figure out ways to impact shipping and reduce the cost. Inventory control is part of that whole lesson. The ability to sign up for newsletters, options, discounts, creating the lines of communication between the seller and the buyer so that when things do become on sale, they know about it and can capitalize on that. Application cache, when browsers store products when there is no internet so the user can still shop. Social media, Instagram, especially if you're dealing with anything food related, anything that's luxurious, any luxurious items, all fashion, Instagram is a huge addition. 24, it's related to what I was talking about before with shipping, but having discounts clearly visible on the home page is a huge part of shipping. Having your cart always and readily available to be seen is huge. That should be static on every page in the same location. Having analytics that we can analyze after the shopping cart purchase occurs. I want to know who has not finished purchasing their cart items. I want to know what they didn't finish purchasing. I want to know what page they bounced off of. Google Analytics will allow for all of those, and that will be a requirement for your projects. I'm also very interested in download speed. I don't want my page to download any longer than 3 seconds. That's the going rate for Google. And if you've had me for other classes, you know that I talk about how in the future Google's been talking about reducing that download threshold from 3 to 1.5 seconds. So we need our products to go fast because most of our people are buying online and most of them are on mobile. So we don't know what kind of speed connection they're going to have. They could have a slow 3G for all we know. On to 28, how about referring a friend? 29, quick reordering order history. We don't need a membership system to do a quick reorder. All we have to do is store the product that the person ordered in their local storage on their browser and just read it when they come back. So we don't need to necessitate necessarily a marriage where the user has to sign up for a membership. We can do it very easily. How about discounts for members if they actually decide to sign up? 931, valid code all the way through. We want our JavaScript linted, our CSS validated, and our HTML5 validated. Line 32, no CDNs. That stands for Content Delivery Networks. So if we're using jQuery in whatever we do, we want to make sure we download that version of jQuery and package it on our own server, not jQuery's server. That means we can cache it right away. We don't have to call jQuery's servers and rely on their server being up when we need it. The ability to save cart items. Where are we saving them? Are we saving them to a database, or are we going to save them to local storage? To be honest with you, OpenCart will save it to a database. 34, the option for expedited shipping. This is always an important part of an e-commerce site. In your case, you guys are making projects using probably OpenCart, and all you have to do is add it visually. It doesn't actually have to be functional. If it were functional, we could discuss that in our shipping section. But the fact is, expedited shipping is a huge thing that can separate you from your competition. We've discussed validated JavaScript already when we talked about valid code in line 31. How about line 36, quick database calls? Are we writing really long joins? If you've had database class, you know what I'm talking about. If not, OpenCart actually streamlines that, but you're still going to want to take a look at the speed of the download of each page. Line 37, shipping status. Can someone check their shipping off your website instead of going to Federal Express or UPS? That's a huge thing, and it's an embedded widget that's free to developers. And lastly, the ability to offer returns for products. So that's it. I will tell you this, that these are 38 items. If we didn't cover anything, email me. Let me know. Add it to your discussion maybe. If it gets on the list, that would be awesome. Then you're technically immortal, because I'm going to run this list out every time we run this class. Okay? Thanks for listening.